Bother. Expansion bonus card I found in the roll. It's not in the adjustment phase. It's in the expansion phase. Okay. But, and it's fine that it's here. Unfortunately, it just wasn't where I looked for it. But it is indeed here. I don't know how I missed it. Anyway, green is going to get that extra card. Now, they're sitting on a total of 5 cards, which means they're going to have to play a couple of them or start losing profit. That's the painful, unlike Age of Renaissance, where, yeah, you can pay some cash or you can take a chaos penalty. Here, you're taking it right off your money. Not just your money in hand, but your future earnings. Sure, your cash on hand is sort of future earnings, but because you can invest it. But it's a little different. Here it really reduces your profit, your ability. Okay, I've got to decide what the current turn order is for this turn. Players get to pick in this order, but they don't have to stay in that order. And red is going to look at their hand and say, hey, I want this many tokens, but it's important that I go this early, and I'll make my decisions. And each player in turn has to do that. Remember, it can be chosen to take a priority here, in which case they get to trump everyone else, which would be kind of interesting. Okay, so the order of play was chosen, running down this way, and then we go to the card plays. The first guy was yellow, plays his Yankee Ingenuity, gets him he has a Pioneer, so he gets a bonus breakthrough because he also has territory in the United States over here in the south. Therefore, and I believe the United States is these two. Okay, so that card is going to be, not yet. We'll wait. This one is not. This one was canceled. Okay, so that's him. Purple. Purple comes over here and he plays his Destiny card, Manifest Destiny. That gives everybody a $10 discount on any progression purchases for anyone who controls areas here, which is everyone except red. Bad card for red. It also triggered a grain event, which gave $20 to the purple player and 10 to the red player. Those are the only people with grain in hand. Okay, third player was red. Red does not look like they played a card. They looked at their hand. They don't have a lot of cards. They couldn't play this one. George Washington, they don't want to go for unity yet. Might as well hold a card. They could have played Washington just to get rid of him, but they didn't want to do that. So then we go to the green player, and the green player says, well, his first play was business or pleasure, and he chose to bone telecommunications. And the purple player, who had one of those, said, you know, I don't think I'm going to get this technology piece. I don't think it's worth all that much to fight for. I'm going to cancel this. Loses him the 63 card, I believe. I believe these two cards are just in that discard pile now. Now we go to, well, this was green. Green gets some more choices. He had the option on this one, the produce card. He could have produced himself $10 or 2 tokens. Now, those 2 tokens are above and beyond his maximum. You know, it seemed more valuable to grab the tokens, even though he's got 9 tokens coming to him that he can buy. He wanted even more. He also played Davy Crockett, which will give him a cheaper Westward Ho, $10 off, and it gave him a free Pioneer, which is marked here. He can't buy one now, but he can still buy a city or something. Blue had 4 cards. He doesn't want to be holding the penalty on profit, so he played Trading Post. He doesn't have any textiles, so he didn't want to fire that off. So he takes the marketing advantage. He's going to win ties on offense, and up to 3 of his competitions this turn are going to take 1 less token than normal, to a minimum of 1, which means he can try to fight his way out of these 2-point areas with only 1 token each. That's cool. Okay. So now we're going to go to the investment phase, and again we do this in player order. But what we do have to do, I have to set the player order for the next turn. Purple's got 3. Okay, we've got somebody who played no cards. That was red. They're going to get the last choice. I think 3, Manifest Destiny over here on purple is the next bad choice. Green has 62. I bet you he gets first choice. Yellow has a 16. And blue has a 31. So we go in that order. And let me see. Yankee Ingenuity, I think that's been totally used. I can put that in the discard pile. Congress, he's already had that. Davy Crockett, he's got to hold on to. Manifest Destiny, everybody's affected by. Alright, on to the strategy. Okay, let me try to catch what everybody did in their investment. Oh, I didn't roll for everyone. Uh-oh. Oh, red definitely rolled. Who comes after red? Green. Green gets a roll. Where do they want to go? I don't know. Damn. Oh. Green's going to go for mechanization. And they get a deed over here. And then blue gets nothing. Blue did not take any people. Okay. So let's look at what happened. Yellow. Yellow opened up. I don't know what they bought and what they didn't. I think they just got Westward Ho. And they grabbed a city over here in Louisiana. Now the reason they did that is they're holding this produce card. They don't have enough tokens though to take 2 produce places after getting that city. But the city was cheap enough and they were only getting 3 tokens this turn. So it seemed the better move. Oh, who's next? Purple. And get rid of the Manifest Destiny card. Purple bought a few tokens. Spent 1 on getting an extra card. See what their options are. They got kind of nice little bonus on Franklin that they may be able to use. And they bought a number of fixes because they used that $10 Manifest Destiny to the greatest extent that they could. I believe they bought Westward Ho and Circus. Circus allowed them to buy the card, of course. Who's next? Red. Oh, yeah. Red also invested big. I'm not sure. I know they bought Innovation, which allows them a reroll on the Pioneer die. They didn't end up needing that. They rolled a 6 and grabbed themselves Turnpike. That's worth an extra victory point up here. And it gives them the bonus of a free control token, which they took. So they have more tokens. They had used a couple of them to buy a Pioneer, which gave them the chance at that roll. And oh, so there were 2 Pioneers here, but one of them had to be used over there, so now they're back down to 1. This is age 1, so nobody can go above 2 Pioneers anyhow. Okay, so their big thing was grabbing a breakthrough, and that's theirs. Nobody else can get Turnpikes now. Yeah, the Mexican Highway. Let's see, green. Oh, yeah. So green could have taken a ton of tokens, but with that Manifest Destiny out, remember they got a free Pioneer already, but they bought a city for 2, so now they have the most cities, which gave them 2 more victory points, and they're in the lead for that. And I believe they bought Westward Ho and Telegraph to allow themselves to expand a little bit better. Now they're still looking at, I mean, they bought the extra city so that they have more timber, but they're sitting on 2 timber cards, and they want to score them as big as they can. So they're probably going into Michigan, among other things. Okay, and they want to get these cards, especially the spy one, back in the deck before the reshuffle. It's important to do that kind of hand management, same as in Age of Renaissance, and same as in a lot of the CDG games. There's a certain similarity towards that aspect of these. Okay, and finally Blue. Blue had to buy some tokens because they're going on the warpath, as it were. But they also bought Westward Ho. Why? They have something that wanted it. Oregon Trail allows them to go out into Oregon if they play that. Alright, well now we're heading into the expansion phase, and everybody's going to get to try to do some combats, etc. I'm probably not going to go into too much detail on those, just come back and show you what happened. Okay, let's take a look at what the expansion looked like. Yellow did a little bit of expansion, getting themselves out to Utah. They also moved to Missouri. Now they've lost that, but we'll get to that in a moment. Purple was coming out of Pennsylvania, and they moved, well, they were in Illinois, they've moved over into Dakota and the Great Plains, trying to get that grain. Again, they've lost some of their territory. Red expanded, and they're pretty much throughout Mexico now. Green was going for the wood. They grabbed Michigan. They also spread out towards the west a little bit. Okay, and then finally, last but not least, Blue. Blue has only 1 advance, Westward Ho. They still haven't used it, but they had this awesome trading post card, which allowed them to attack at against 2-point areas with only 1 token, so they were able to take a lot of territories. And they even took the Pennsylvania home territory. That's Purple's home area. What's the advantage for being a home area? You get an extra die. So Purple got 2 dice against Blue's 2 dice, but Blue still won ties. So we have a pile of losses here that we have to take care of. Yellow's down 1, Purple's down 3. Now I can remove those. Let's see who got the most total. Red got 4. Yellow looks like they only added 1. Purple added 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue to 2, 3, 4 green. Blue's going to get an extra card. Uh-oh. Okay. And now we add the incomes for everyone. Let me just see what we get here. Yellow goes up 1. Remember, I've already taken the penalties into play. I'd even things out to the $20 if I had to. Purple gets 1, 2. Red, 1, 2, 3, 4 areas. Green, 1, 2, 3, 4 areas. And now blue. Six areas. And we see this huge dominance. Well, the Canadians have taken over New England and the Great Lakes area. No big horror story there. But Virginia is seizing not just the South, but kind of the center of the U.S. So now the only we've got the ex-Pennsylvanians out here in the West, and we've got the Louisiana people moving westward as well, trying to get, some distance. A lot of money going to go to the two leading players. Speaking of which, we'll be hitting the adjustments phase. Now, who had two? He has two cities, nobody gained it. You can attack, and it's economic, political, all kinds of competition being represented by this. But you can attack, basically, and take over cities, which become more valuable than normal areas. I don't think there's any defensive bonus. I could be lying there, though, of course. All right. I'm going to give out the income, and then I'm going to send this one up. I'm not going to worry too much about the showing you the income, because it's available. People have some money left over in some cases, but mainly it's what they're pulling in here that matters.